Welcome to the telehealth shoulder exam. First, ensure the patient is at least 6 feet in front of the camera and also being able to visualize the shoulders appropriately before beginning the encounter. First, we'll start off with inspection. Here, we'll include any skin changes, including edema, erythema, ecchymosis, scars, or abrasions. Here we can also test for deformity, showing any atrophy, step off, having the patient face the back of the room, test for any scapular winging or scapular dyskinesia. Here we can also assess for joint symmetry, noting any asymmetry or symmetry of the joint. Next, we can assess range of motion, starting with forward flexion, testing their ability, inability, or ability with difficulty. Next, we can also test for abduction, and on the way down, adduction. Next, with external rotation and internal rotation, we can do this in 2 different planes. Here we can also do 2 different special maneuvers. The first one is called scapular substitution test. During abduction, there is noted a scapular shrug to be able to fully get range of motion. Next is called circumduction test for our pediatric population, is having the patient cross their arms all the way up and arms back down on their sides. Here we'll also jump down to more special maneuvers, starting with pain with self-palpation, including the deltoid, clavicle, acromioclavicular joint, also known as the AC joint, subacromial space, biceps tendon sheath, anterior joint line, and posterior joint line. The next is the sulcus sign. Using the contralateral limb, pull gently inferiorly of the opposite arm. The next is called the belly press, testing for any scapular insufficiency, having the patient press on their belly, and a positive test is having that arm drop. The following special test can be completed by using any household items as a counterweight if needed. Start off with rotator cuff. First, we'll start off with the Hawkins test, having the patient flex their shoulder to 90 degrees and their elbow to 90 degrees, and using the contralateral limb to apply gentle pressure in an internal rotation movement. Pain indicates a positive test. Next is the Neers test, having the patient forward flex their shoulder to 90 degrees, internally rotate their shoulder with the thumbs down, and bringing that 180 degrees in overhead flexion. Next is the drop arm test. So have the patient raise their arm up a wall with walking their fingers to an 80 to 90 degrees of abduction, and then have the patient walk away from the wall to see if they can maintain an abducted position. Next, we're testing their acromioclavicular joint. First is called cross-arm adduction. Have the patient forward flex their shoulder to 90 degrees and adduct across their body. Next is O'Brien's testing with pain localized to the AC joint. So having the patient forward flex their shoulder, adduct 10 to 15 degrees in, internally rotating their arm with the thumbs down, using the contralateral limb to apply gentle pressure, and any pain located in the AC joint during this test is a positive sign. Next, we will do shoulder anterior instability. Here, the provocative test is called anterior apprehension test. Having the patient adduct their shoulder to 90 degrees, flex their elbow to 90, and externally rotate to 90 degrees. Next, we'll test labral provocative tests, including the O'Brien's in position 1 and 2. First position, where you're going to forward flex the shoulder into 90 degrees. We're going to adduct 10 to 15 degrees, internally rotate, having the thumb down, and using the contralateral limb, we'll apply gentle pressure. This is position 1. Position 2, we are going to fully supinate that same arm, using the contralateral limb to apply gentle pressure. Next, we'll test for bicipital tendon tests. First, starting with Speed's test. Have the patient return to neutral and apply gentle pressure with a contralateral limb, isolating the biceps tendon. Last but not least is the biceps uppercut test. Using a household item as a counterweight, you're going to flex your elbow to 90 degrees, and with a quick, swift motion, you're going to do an uppercut motion, testing the bicipital tendon. This concludes the telehealth shoulder examination encounter.